need to, if you're horrible, because you're going to ask me, how do you get to that again? I forgot how to do that. What do we do? I'm going to be like, go to your notes or go to the YouTube. Okay? So here we go. We are live. We're going to figure out what the basic interface of Illustrator is. So we know the difference between Illustrator and Photoshop is going to be the rasterized graphics with pixels according to the vector graphics, which you can scale infinitely and not lose any quality. All right, so when you first log in, now this isn't updated, but usually when you first log in, you have a welcome screen that kind of has like, do you want to open a new document? Do you want to start a new document? Or what you have now. So first thing right off the bat, take a look at it. What does it look like? What's it look like? This isn't a trick question. What does this look like? It looks a lot like Photoshop, which is what Adobe does for simplicity. All right? It sets it pretty much all up, all their programs actually, to look alike, so it's easily to go from one program to another. All right? You've got your toolbar on your left. You've got some windows to the right. You got your, what's it called, commands up at the top. So everything looks the same. All right? Let's go ahead. And all the things work the same as well. Let me shrink this so you guys can see. All of them work the same as well, that if you hover over it, you can get a little hint. There's even little white triangles in the bottom right, so that if you need to see that there are hidden tools, you can right-click on them, and you can see those hidden tools. All right. Let's go up and go File, New. Same thing, Control-N works the same way. And let's pop up this dialog box. Let me find my laser pointer. All right, dialog box. Again, looks a lot like Photoshop, just with a couple different things. Okay? If you go to Profile and you click that little down arrow, you've got it from Print, and it will list all these other things, which we have. Are you going to do this for print? Are you going to do this for the web? Are you going to use this for device, video, film, basic, RGB? Okay? If you click those, it will set all your settings for you. Again, those default settings. So let's just go to device. Let's say we were making something for a device. All right. Now, when you click device, notice size pops up. Click that down arrow for size. Thank you. You have all these different devices up here. All right. However, though, again, a lot of things here don't get updated, but with the updated versions that get pushed out, more of these devices get put on there. Got it? All right, let's hop out of there. Let's change it back for print, just for now. And let's talk about these sizes here. Okay? With these sizes here, it's all, let's just go straight down. Do you see where it says number of artboards? I'm going to do it. You don't need to do it. Artboards are just that. Think of yourself kind of as an artist. All right? And what's going to happen is you want to have multiple kind of documents or some on the same document. In Photoshop, you would have all these tabs at the top. In Illustrator now, you can have multiple artboards you could be working on the same document. All right, so you can follow along if you want, but I don't want to get you guys too lost. Well, let's say we wanted to have 4 artboards. So we're just going to click the up arrow to 4. And that says, how do you want them to be displayed? Those are those options to the right. Right? You've got spacing and you've got columns. Those look good. And then down here where it says width, height, and units. Okay. For simplicity as of right now, we will work in inches. A lot of this, though, is done in points or pike. And there's a huge conversion scale, and I'll make a document for you that shows you all of it, because I could just sit here and list to you 12 points equal 1 pica, 1 pica equals 1 inch, and you're gonna be like, that means absolutely nothing to me. But for simplicity, we will work in just inches. Now it's gonna be hard when we start doing bleed. All right. But if we want Illustrator to convert everything to points for us, we can. So under units and points, let's just say we want an 8.5 by 11 inch sheet. So we can go ahead and type in 8.5. Put IN. Oh, didn't mean to hit enter. I meant to hit tab. Do I still have 4 up there? Yeah. 8.5 IN and hit tab. What does it automatically do when you do that? What does it do? Say it louder. If you hit tab, it shouldn't open the document. When I put 8.5 IN and hit tab, what did it do? Huh? It didn't set it to inches because right now it says 612 PTs. What did it do? Huh? That's what we're getting to, but does it say 8.5 inches in width? No, what did it do? It converted it for you. So you can work in points just by typing in the inches as well. So for the height, we'll go ahead and put 11 IN and hit tab, and it will automatically convert your 11 inches into height. All right. Next thing, bleed. Bleed can be kind of important. All right. How many of you guys have ever printed something on a whole page, but it like clips it and you got an ugly white border around it? More of the art people that have worked with it before. All right. What bleed does is it allows you to stretch your artwork or your design farther than your artboard itself, so you get that print all the way to the edge. So that's what that is. So let's just go ahead and put 10 in there. And it should all be linked together. So when you put 10 in there, it should be 10 all the way around, 10 points. You just got to go to the normal 5210. All right, if you click the down arrow for advanced, the one I really want to talk about is going to be the color mode. CMYK and RGB. All right, CMYK and RGB. Does anybody know what CMYK stands for? My art people most likely do. Does anybody else? Janet, do you know what CMYK stands for? Huh? Do you know what RGB stands for? Brittany, what's RGB? I'll give you a clue. Red. Red, green, blue. RGB. Do you know CMYK? Do you know CMYK? Yes, cyan, magenta, yellow, black. All right. Now, the reason why they are separated, does anybody know why they're separated? Why you would create something with CMYK, or why would you do RGB? Yep. When you print something, you don't print with RGB, you print with CMYK. Those are the 4 colors that are used to create the variety of colors that you print with. So when you print, you use CMYK. And why is K used for black? It's a simple one, Miller. Because blue is already. Yeah, but because B is already for blue. It's kind of like when you do Control C to copy, what do you have to do to paste it? Control V, because P is already taken. That's as simple as that. All right, so we're going to leave it in CMYK. That's fine. And go ahead and hit OK. When you hit OK, you now have 4 artboards. Okay? You got the artboard themselves, and do you see that little red line around it? That's your bleed for each one. Okay? Now, if you're kind of like me, where you're like, man, I kind of don't want to be this zoomed into it or have all my artboards this close, it kind of confuses me. I kind of like to have a little space out. We can move them around any way we want. All right? But obviously, are you going to go ahead and concentrate on all 4 pieces of work at once? Heck no. So what we're going to do is, just like in Photoshop, there's a layers panel for artboards. All right, so there's kind of 2 different sets of options. You've got a layers panel for any type of layer you draw, and then you've got an artboard panel. So let's go up. Let's go to Windows, and let's pull that up. And we have, so go to Windows and then go to Artboards. When you do that, you get this over on the right. And now those are all 4 of your artboards. Go ahead and double click on one of them. If you double click onto one of them, it does what? Zooms into them, exactly. So this is an easy way to maneuver between one piece of work and another. Now, the reason why a lot of people use multiple artboards is, one, to do different designs and see how they look compared to each other. But the way we're going to use it in here is, you guys are going to create a logo for a company on one artboard, and then you're going to create a business card on another one. Our business cards and logos going to be the same size? No, so you're going to have to create 2 different size artboards for it. You're on it today, Nate. I'll tell you that. All right, so let's go ahead, kind of space these out and isolate one of them. Control minus Control plus still does zoom you in and out. Or you can go up to View, and you can fit all in window. And when you hit View Fit All in Window, it sets you back to normal, where you see everything. I need you to say, what's going on? What's wrong? What happened? You gotta stop me, Related, if this happens. Oh man, we're frozen. We're gonna have to help out when it comes to it, right? All right, so let's now see how we can move these artboards to kind of space them out a little bit. Okay. There is an actual tool for that. Over on the left-hand side, if your tools look like this, where they're squished into one row, you see a double arrow right above them, right above the direct select, or the selection tool. It will turn them into 2 rows like that. At the bottom, right above your fill and your stroke, you see one that looks like a square with extending lines out of it. That's your artboard tool. Anytime you're going to do something with your artboard, you're going to do that. Go ahead and click it. And notice now, all your artboards kind of light up with options. Okay? What we're going to go ahead and do, see if you can, before I even show you, space them out. Space them out and resize them. All right, see if we can get you up and running. You got to stop me if this happens, Delaney. All right? And you get farther and farther behind the longer you wait. See if you can create a new artboard. Simple as that, isn't it? Simple as that. See if you can delete all of them but 2 artboards. Now again, just like in Photoshop, every tool you use will have its own specific options at the top. And by that I mean, notice Notice when you have the artboard tool selected, whichever is the active artboard, meaning it's got the dashed lines around it, those would be the options for that artboard at the top. So what I want you to do now is delete them all except for one. And in order to do that, we're just going to very simply hit the X's in the top right. If you missed how to select one or create one, it's just as simple as clicking and dragging, and it'll create your own artboard. You can then go up to here, and you can kind of like add your own in there for certain things. So if I wanted to make another 8.5 by 11, I just do the same thing. Type in my inches, and I'll automatically strain it to it. I'm going to go ahead, X out of these right here. And I'm going to keep this artboard up, and I'm going to go to View, Fit All in Window. So it's like this. Oh, what happened? All right. Here's going to be a designer's best friend in Illustrator. Everybody hit V first. V takes you to the main selection tool. Okay. Here is your best friend as a designer. In Photoshop, you know how you were kind of like set to just putting stuff on your artboard or on your document? Here in Illustrator, this gray area is your workspace. Meaning you can store stuff. You can store stuff on this gray stuff, meaning it will save as your document just over here. It just won't be on your printed document. Okay? Let's make sure that's all I want to kind of talk to you about there first. All right, good. What's up? Just throw them up there. That's fine. All right. In this program, you're going to be using a lot of grid lines. When you use grid lines, what's up? Did they pop up? Yeah. All right, because you're going to want things to be precise when you're designing all these applications. Perfect. You're good to go. All right. You're going to want to snap to certain things. You're going to want your logo to look pretty precise. So what we're going to do is we're going to first set our screen the way it wants to be set so it's easy to use and it looks kind of like Photoshop. Now, you're going to have to do this every single time you log into Illustrator because when you sign out, you lose all parts of your work, right? It does that deep freeze. So what things look familiar to you in Photoshop? So when you have Photoshop open, what are you normally able to see on the right-hand side? That's your tools on the left. They're already there for you. I'm talking about over here. What are those two things? Yeah, what's one of them? Your colors, swatches, right? What else? Your layers. Those are the two big ones we're going to try pulling out for us. So again, since these are all over here, if you hover over them, you'll see that layers is pretty much already there. And according to it, it's already got artboard kind of locked into it. So we're going to kind of take that off of there. And we're going to, I'll do it again so you see it. All right. So the artboard and everything was right here. It's just like Photoshop. If I click right here on the thing next to artboards and layer on the top bar, and I click and drag it, I'm going to undock it. Now it is a floating window. All right, now in order to kind of dock it so it looks like Photoshop, I'm going to click and drag, and I'm going to bypass here, bypass the next one, and I'm going to go all the way to the edge, and it's going to snap in place. Check to see if all your neighbors have yours. They'll look just like this. Real quick, go ahead. Is everybody good? Give me a thumbs up if your row's good. Gianna's row's not good. Someone's got to help Gianna. Okay. Are we good over here, Lizette, or no?
Yeah, we're good.
Oh, what happened?
I don't know.
What are you doing, buddy? You're supposed to be helping. Players are right here, right? Undock them. Correct. You could have helped? Did we get Gianna's son or no? Go up to essentials. Go down to reset essentials. Okay, go to layers. Undock. Stop. Stop. Right here. Click and drag here. Click and drag. Now undock. Now grab that. Drag it so you see a blue line over there. Oh, keep going over. There you go. You guys gonna dump that? Oh, shit. All right. Here's the other cool thing about Illustrator. We can adjust the size of that thumbnail. Because as we start drawing and making things, we can actually see what we're doing. Right now it's kind of small. So do you see the little pancake with an arrow down right above your layers right here? If you click that, you will get this drop down. And you've got one called, I believe we go to panel options. And you'll see row size. Make sure everybody in your row's got it. Check your partner right now. Make sure they got this dialog box up. Miller. Oh, there you go. Go ahead. Yeah, get it. Boom. Thank you, Fox.
Question.
Hmm? They're going to be in a couple weeks. Probably a week.
So should happen in about the pictures in about 2 weeks.
All right, with this open, let's go ahead and go to other, because if you hit large, it won't be that big of a difference. That's all I get is that. So if we go to panel options, go to other, type in 60. All right, 60 is a pretty good size. Now all of your layers will look like that. The pancake with the arrow down above it. Yeah, panel options. Other.
What is that thing? How did you do that?
Everybody got this?
It's not a big deal.
Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? You must have drew with a, you must have drawn with a paintbrush or something. Like, you have something on there. All right, next. Let's get our swatches up there because you said that's something normally you use too. So if I go up to here where this little artboard is, I get my color. Again, it looks like the little paint thing that artists put a lot of paint on. What's that called? A palette? I'm going to then click and drag and undock it. All right, now watch. You ready, Gianna? Gianna? I'm click holding, and I'm going to go above my artboard. And do you see how there's a blue line now above the word layers? I will unclick, and I have now docked it right above it. A little bit higher, a little bit higher. There you go. See that single line? Just like that. Are we good up front now, Gianna?
I'm fine.
Are you sure? All right. Now, I know this is going to sound tedious, but this is what I want you to do. By the way, notice when we create more than one document, it does the same thing at the top. It adds these different tabs, right? Okay? Just to give you a heads up. I want you to exit out of Illustrator, and I want you to set your Illustrator back up to this with your layers and your color All those ready to roll. Go ahead. Exit completely out. Go back in. Because you're going to want to do this every single time you get into Illustrator. Go to Essentials and reset. I see that it automatically did. You'd have to restart. Go to Essentials at the top right here, guys. Go down to Reset Essentials and then set it up. See if you can redock everything you need. Get everything back the way it is. Dock it.
Yeah, it's too much work.
Too much work?
Too much for my computer.
Oh, is it frozen right now? There you go, Elaine. Hit cancel, whatever. Make a new And again, guys, these docked windows over here can be resized. I mean, if you go right above layers, you can click and drag down, and it'll resize everything for you. Okay. What are we doing with this chart? Get a new document up. 8.5 by 11 document. Nope, keep it in points. Keep it in points.
8.5 by 11.
Oh, is that fine? Okay. All right. This is going to be my next little hint for you. When using guidelines, okay, you're going to want to keep all your guidelines on its own layer. Yes, guidelines actually now are attached to layers as opposed to just being out there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get a guideline for a document we're going to start creating a simple little building with. So let's go up, let's go to File, New, and let's change the dimensions from 8.5 to 11 to 11 by 8.5 for landscape. So we're going to go File, New, right here. Now, you could just type in 11 inches for width and 8.5 for height. But do you see right over here under Units where it says Orientation? Just go right next to it where it says Landscape. And when you click that, it's going to automatically flip-flop your height and your width. And hit OK. Oh, I didn't mean to have 4 artboards. Let me delete some of those artboards. There you go. I didn't mean to have 4 artboards. I'm sorry. Ups. What's going on? Is it frozen? All right. I'm going to reset my size of my thumbnails or my layers to 60 points again. Oh, not 80. And what we're going to do is we're going to find the middle of this piece of paper. Okay? So we're going to go up to View Ruler first. View Rulers, Show Rulers. And we're going to rename this layer, our first layer here, Guides. Because all of our guidelines and all that are going to be placed on this layer itself. And all I did was just click where it said Layer 0 or Layer 1. And I just typed in Guides. All right, it can be kind of frustrating when dragging down, trying to find exact middles and all that, but it's easy. This is how you create a guide. Just like in Photoshop, you click and drag down from each one of the rulers. Drag it down, You can create all these different guides. All right, and when you're trying to be precise, it can be frustrating because you want one of these guidelines normally to align to one of those ticker marks, especially when you're trying to make things certain amount of distances away from each other. All right, in order to do that, you just hold down Shift and click, and it will snap to one of the tickers. All right, so I'm holding down Shift, and notice it cannot go in between. It will go right next to the tick mark. All right, let's go ahead and clear those because we just want to set 2 guidelines right in the middle. So go up to View, Guides, Clear Guides. And they will all disappear. And we're going to bring down 2 of them. We're going to drop down from here and drop down from here. And what we're going to want to do is guides, like I said, since they are actual things on layers, we can select both of them now, and we're going to align them to the absolute center of our document. So we're going to hit V to grab our selection tool, our black arrow tool. And if you go ahead and highlight and draw just a simple marquee around both of them, all I did was just click here, drag down. Notice those 2 guidelines will both turn blue. And again, you're going to see the options at the top change. So using these options up here, I want you to align it vertically and horizontally. It should take 2 clicks. Just like Photoshop, guys, if you mess up, Control-Z. There is no more Alt-Z. There is infinite amount of Control-Zs in this one. It's pretty cool. All right. Oh boy. Where did my bet? Where did he go? Did it work for you guys? Because mine's going all over the place. All right. Well, I'll get mine ready for tomorrow. This is what I want you to do. Once you have that, highlight both of them. Go up to View Guides and lock those guides into place. And then I want you to go to File, Save As, and save this as building on your drive, whatever drive you have. We are going to continue with this tomorrow. All right, I know we didn't get to drawing.